Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
He's absolutely Jason, he's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely brighten up the darkest rainy day. He's funny and loves movies, he's smart and he's a Jew. He's an actor and an activist and wants to hear from you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Absolutely Jason Stuart with my two guests, both my friends, both self-made men and women, Courtney Rachley, who's from the show Firsts, and Leon Acord. Do we use the other name? I don't know.
Just use Leon Acord.
Leon Acord from Old Dogs, New Tricks, going into season 3.
Yes.
I was so excited to have you guys on the show because both of you have inspired me totally to do my own show, Mentor, which is now on Gay Direct.
Yay!
And God,
Plug.
isn't it terrible?
No.
It's like we're no longer actors, we're publicists.
It's true.
So let me tell everybody why you're here and what this show is about for me. So we're in 2014. Courtney and I have known each other for years. We've known each other a time. And it's all about taking your careers into your own hand, getting to do the kind of work that you want to do. I know that when I started Mentor, and I told you this, the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to do a show that I wanted to do, that was about the kind of work that I wanted. Yeah. I love the comedy dramas. I love the Louis C.K., the girls, the Curb Your Enthusiasms, and that's the kind of show I wanted to do. We'll start with you, Leon. So Leon created this show.
He aged before beauty, I guess.
You're in season 3. I'm only in season 2.
No. Yes.
She's a baby.
So around 3 years ago, I met you.
Yeah.
I think because I auditioned for Old Dogs.
Yeah, you did.
Had I known you before?
No.
I'm an audition.
Yeah.
No.
Well, there's not a lot of girls.
Yeah, not a lot of girls in our
Whatever.
show.
I can be a boy.
And then you came to our premiere party.
I came because I was just so enamored with the idea of this, of creating your own show. So I wanted to be supportive any way I could because I love the idea. And what I love the idea about your show is about gay men over 40 and 50, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was great. And before we even start, I'm going to show the first clip of Old Dogs, New Tricks, so we can see how wonderful this show is and how everybody should go to ODNT.tv.
Isn't it time that sex stopped being about swinging from chandeliers? I know you won't believe this, but it can kind of be hot to actually make eye contact with a guy while you're slowly invading his orifices.
Bollocks. Sex is sweaty, primal, eyes in the back of your head, losing control, ripping off clothes, slamming into walls, breaking furniture. An unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Like how you described you and Damien. Incredibly awkward.
And basically, your show is about staying who you are. And becoming who you are. And saying that because someone's over 40, they still have a sexual appetite. They still want romance.
Absolutely.
They still have friendships. You know, I watched Project Runway the other night, and what I was taken with is Heidi Klum goes, everything should be really fresh and young and fresh and young. And I think, when we turn 40, what do we do? Wear washcloths?
Isn't she 40 by now?
I know. It's like it doesn't matter.
I know she's dating a younger guy.
Of course she is. Aren't we all?
Old Dogs and New Tricks.
But so tell us the lineage of the whole show, how it started, what you wanted to do, why you did it.
Wow.
How did it start?
I had started about 4 years ago. I'd been in LA about 7 years.
You're from San Francisco.
San Francisco. Well, originally from Indiana, but I lived in San Francisco for 20 years and worked quite a lot as an actor.
In the theater?
Yeah.
Oh, what part of Indiana?
I was born in Kokomo and grew up in several farms around Greentown, Peru.
I used to work at Crackers Comedy Club all the time.
Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I lived there for a couple of years and then moved to San Francisco, worked all the time as an actor, moved to LA, and suddenly wasn't working all the time as an actor. So took about 6 weeks off, went back to my parents in Indiana. My niece was getting married, so I thought, well, let's just take some time off and kind of reevaluate, do I want to be an actor in LA if that's what it means? Yeah. And wasn't planning to write. Thought I'd do a lot of reading and journaling and stuff, and I just one night had this idea, you're so nervous about turning 50 in LA. Instead of being scared of it, why not embrace it and explore it and write about it? And I created the 4 main characters that night, and boom, it was just like that. And every night for the next 6 weeks.
Tell us who's on the show.
Kurt Bonham and Jeffrey Patrick Olsen were in that clip.
Yeah, Kurt Bonham is a very well-known
Oh, yeah.
theater actor in town here in Los Angeles.
Works all the time. They just had a huge hit with Absolutely Filthy, which was a takeoff of the Peanuts gang grown up. He's a great actor.
I didn't know that. That's
Oh,
something-
he's amazing. They did it in New York. They got a Best of Fringe in New York, so they went back and did it again. He works all the time. It's really hard to schedule him because he's constantly working. But he's a really good actor.
But he's in the theater, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
which really takes an incredible amount
He's
of time.
done some. I know he's done like Criminal Minds and things like that.
And then David Pesner.
David Pevsner, we all know David Pevsner.
And he's been on this show, and he's had an incredible career.
Incredible career,
Yeah,
and a great actor. Oh
wonderful
my God.
actor, wonderful writer in himself. Also did a wonderful,
A great singer. I mean, I'm envious of anyone who has musical skills.
And then
'cause you can't fake it.
And then the newcomer, who I just worked with on a film called Hush Up, Sweet Charlotte, Jeffrey Patrick Olsen, who's just an absolute doll.
He is so perfect, it makes you nuts. He's gorgeous, he's sweet, he's smart, he's kind. He's a
I know,
good
it's
actor.
weird. I drove all the way to San Francisco with him in the car, so we got to know each other really well.
Oh, wow.
And he's just a doll.
I've
We
never
really
heard
bonded.
him say a bad thing about anybody or
Well,
anything.
stay in a car with him for 6 hours.
Oh,
I squeezed some shit out of him, believe me. So tell me, so you did the show, and how did you start with it when you finished the first season? Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do with it? Because it was 4 years ago. It's so different than now.
oh yeah. When we started, they're like, "Oh, you can't be over 7 minutes. That's verboten." Now it's like 10 to 12 to.
But that doesn't even matter.
I don't think it matters
I watch
now.
a show that's an hour online. I
Yeah.
must watch everything online.
With Netflix and
Yeah,
you
so
know,
it's
I don't
really-
think it really matters anymore. After the first season, I thought we'd have maybe 500 viewers, and it just kind of went. Poof. And everyone's like, what are you doing next? You got to do another season. You got to do another. Fortunately, I had the scripts written from when I was in Indiana because I wrote both seasons at the same time. So we went into that thinking, oh, well, maybe this will be it. And at the end of that season, our viewers were like, well, what happens next? You've got to start raising money. You got to start shooting. It's like, oh, my God. So we did a 20-minute mini-movie, WeHo Horror Story, to sort of tide people over until because all the actors work all the time, scheduling can be a nightmare. And then we shot the third season in March and April, and it starts out tomorrow.
Yay!
Yay! I can't believe it.
And you can watch the first 2 seasons on Gay Direct.
On Gay Direct.
If you want to catch up and you've never seen it, you can binge watch.
Yeah.
How many are in a season? How many
We
episodes?
had 5 episodes in the first, 10 in the second, and we have 8 in the third.
Yeah.
Because the WeHo Horror Story was about 20 minutes, so that's sort of like 2 shows there. So
It's really successful.
It's totally surprising. I mean, like we have so many female fans, which was one thing I never expected, and it's really it seems weird to say it about a web series in LA because a lot of people in LA see web series as kind of this lower form of life, but it's been
Not
life-changing.
anymore.
It's been the most incredible
this,
ride.
I think House of Cards has changed everything.
Yeah, I think so.
And Courtney, we met each other probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
My
Well,
back went out.
Yeah.
And my back went out, and Courtney had been a Pilates instructor.
Oh, wow.
And she saved my life. She really
Fabulous.
did, and she saved my life in a lot of other ways too.
Wink,
She's,
wink.
Yeah. No, really.
We'll
She-
talk
she
after
was
the
just-
show about that.
And you had worked in web series before. Now you worked in in Gale We Trust.
Oh yeah, no, I did do that web series.
And that was sort of really interesting before you did First. And that
Yeah.
series was funded by Wells Fargo.
NBC. It was an NBC. That was the second season of a show, and NBC funded the second season.
Wow.
But it was really weird because
Yeah.
the whole show took place in a bank.
Yeah, it was like it was back when sort of web series were, like I did a web series, actually, I did 3. I did one that was on it was like some weird horror film thing we shot. Like
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Cannibal Run. I
Yeah.
think it was.
Cannibal Run.
Cannibal, I was like, oh my God, what was that? And then I did, I think I did, and then in Gale We Trust. And then there was one other one
But
that I
the
did.
concept of them were different, though, at the time, because it was like the Dinah Shore Chevy show. There was
Oh,
one.
Target. I did one for Sears or Target, where it was like, but it was they were funding them as advertising.
Right.
And the first one had gone so well. So this for In Gale We Trust was like this bank had funded it. And so the whole show was about this woman who was like worked in this bank or something like that.
So it was all about, they had like one sponsor, like in the old days.
Yeah.
You know,
it was
people
like old.
Because
like
for
happy
those at
days.
home who are young and listening, you'd have a show, and the name of the product would be in the
Right.
title, like the Milton Burl
Kellogg's
Texaco.
presents The Adventures of Superman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember cigarettes were I Love Lucy.
Yeah, and they would smoke.
Oh yeah, they have commercials.
Cigarette
And
commercials.
They would actually do, and there would be one sponsor for the whole show. And I thought that's the sort of was one of the things. The first time I started thinking, oh my God, this is strange.
Yeah.
You know, and you had been getting these shows very easily. I mean, a lot of them much more easily than it was to get network television or any of the other stuff. They were. It seemed like a world that was open to actors. You know,
Yeah, I
that were
moved out here
talented.
from New York, and I was like, I was the only blonde girl in New York, and there were like 6
Welcome
of
to
us.
L.A.
You know, like for every commercial, every play, they'd call it. There were like the six blonde girls. We all would go up for the same thing.
Because you did an incredible amount of theater.
Yeah, and then I moved out here, and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
everyone's blonde, and if they're not blonde when they get here, they're blonde within 6 months. So I like dyed my hair red. I was just like, how do I like?
You've changed your hair like 500 times.
I did. And then I just like couldn't find. I was just like fine, and then I sort of quit acting for a while, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I was teaching, and then I sort of just got sort of sucked back into it, and it happened really fast. It was like.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to get to see a clip from her web series first. We'll be back in just a second here on Absolute Jason Stewart. Please stay with us.
Hey, I'm Dean Cain, and you are watching T Radio V. I'm watching it too. Right now. Seriously.
I'm Debbie Kay, professional poker player and host of the new poker show, The Flop, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on T Radio V. Come play with me and dive into the world of poker, where each week I'll discuss the lives of grinders and nits with local rounders and celebrity guests. Who knows? I may even shuffle a scandal or two. If you want to know what's happening on the felt and learn a tip or two from the pros, I'll be dealing it to you weekly. So tune in to T Radio V every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Are you ready to get your grind on? T Radio V. Radio and TV.
I'm Louis Lombardi.
And I'm James Gutierrez.
Bringing you Celebrity Bookie every Thursday starting September 4th at 11 a.m. Pacific Time.
Every NFL game picked by this man right here.
Yep, we're going to make you rich.
And fantasy stuff by me.
Fantasy stuff by him.
Fantasy football stuff.
On where?
On True Radio.
I think that's TV radio.
No, it's T
Radio
V.
T Radio V on radio
.com.
and TV.
TRadioV.com, I think, is what they want.
Tune in.
Radio and TV on the internet. Concept.
It's the bit.
Hey geeks, wake up! We've got big news. I'm not gonna mumble this time. Geekscape, the long-running movie video game. Let me do one more. Hey geeks, we got big news! Geekscape, your favorite show about movies, video games, comics, and TV, is coming to T Radio V Monday, October 6th. And it'll be on every Monday from then on, 7 p.m. Until the apocalypse happens, we're all eaten by zombies.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hey, we're back at Absolutely Jason Stewart here with my guests Courtney Rachley and Leon Acord. So we're talking about Courtney Rachley's first show called First. This is your own show by yourself. Mm-hmm. And before we start even to get into anything, why don't we show a clip, Frank, of Firsts, which I just adore. And I went to the premiere party also. I'm a big supporter, as you guys know.
Like, what are we showing?
You always remember your firsts.
Yeah, nobody ever asks, tell me about the second time you met her.
She's just going to draw some blood real quick and run a screen for gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, and fear of commitment. How was he? Good attitude? I didn't for your lunch?
Not to make this about me, but I kind of really jammed it up there.
Anything?
Oh my God, it's really red. Like you've been scratching a lot.
I wanted to be his first therapeutic girlfriend.
30 seconds of pre-game visualization.
Shh! Absolute silence.
Honey, should I be worried that your best friend is like 8 years old?
I'm 10. Oh, it's adorable.
It's been a while since I've seen the Twin Peaks.
Sorry, do you want to fuck me?
Didn't realize I raised such a prude.
Oh, please. Chuck peas on my face all the time.
Whoa. So, you bury all your dead relatives out here?
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Chuck.
I'm Sally.
And we're...
In a relationship.
Wait, what are we?
Well, what do you mean, what are we?
What'd you say?
Why would you put me on the crazy scale?
5. You know, big, normal. I have a very sweet girlfriend.
It's adorable. It's inappropriate. It's edgy. It's
funny.
Cringing. It's laugh out loud funny.
Inappropriate.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what the web's for.
My parents are so proud.
Oh, mine haven't seen mine.
Has your parents seen it?
They've seen some of my dad gets the emails. Like I send out emails every couple episodes, and my dad's like, I haven't gotten the emails. He's like, what episodes did I miss? And I'm like, first STD, first fuck, first phone sex. He's like, oh, okay, no problem.
Wow. So you did a show that you really wanted to do that you thought was funny, and you did something really completely different because Leon, you work with your husband. Mm-hmm. And you work with all your friends, and then you had an open call and brought in actors, and some that you knew, and then you brought in a couple gay celebrities. You have like,
Greg Louganis, Ian Buchanan, Tom Beards,
Mo Gaffney.
In season 3, we have Mo Gaffney and Rutanya Alda from Mommy Dearest, and Catherine Lee Scott from Dark Shadows.
Yeah, but you did the opposite. You said, I'm going to get these really big directors, and you sort of. And they brought all their own people. Isn't that how you sort of did it?
How did I do it? I think I'd done so many like 24-hour film festivals and 24-hour plays, and like I just had been working with like people that I knew.
Because you were really a major theater actor in town. You created your own work. I don't know how many plays I went to go see.
Yeah.
You were in the theater, and I think that when we talked as friends, you always lamented and say it's so hard to get people to come and see your work, and it's only like in a theater mostly 50 people, whereas when you do a series, it's like, man.
Yeah, I guess I'd been pretty successful with producing theater, so I was like, okay, so let's produce a short, and like, so I did that, but it was
called
like,
Divorce Me.
Divorce Me, and it was just like me and a guy, and it turned out great, but like, it was like a party of two. Like you know what I mean? Like how do I get people to watch it? So my idea with this was that what was a way to bring as many people together as possible. So every episode is almost a different writer, a different director, and a different crew.
Cool.
Which I don't recommend. It made my life like a night.
I don't know how you did it, because when I did Mentor, we did it as a film.
Yeah.
So we shot it by location. We did all 6 episodes in 6 days.
And that's what I will do. I'm doing another show, and that is exactly what I'll do.
Yeah,
like we're waiting for all the scripts to be done. And
much easier, and it's also
easier.
less expensive.
Yeah, and I think my idea sort of backfired because people have more blood in the game when they've worked on all of them. Mm-hmm. Whereas if they've just worked on one, they're like, oh, here's the episode that I did, instead of like the show as a whole.
Right.
Which was not, I sort of.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm in a movie called Love is Strange with Alpha
Great
Molina.
Movie, by the way.
Alpha Molina, Marissa Tomei, and John Lithgow. And what they did from beginning to end, from people who had small parts in the film like me, to the stars, to the crew, to the extras, to the makeup people, everybody was involved and treated equally. And everybody got aboard this whole thing, and the social media was so big on this, on everything. And like you're saying, everybody was a part of it. And it was real. I mean, we all came to Sundance. We all saw the opening of it. People went to Tribeca in here or LA Film Festival in LA, and everybody became a part of it. And I love the idea because I feel the same way. I mean, one of the when we were doing Mentor, the guy Paul, who's my partner on it, Paul Elia, said, "Why are you having all these kids work as ADs?" I said, "Because number one, you want to give people a chance to become a part of it and learn, and number two, I need someone to make sure that people didn't get parking tickets." And I pay. Someone was there, and their job the whole day was to do that.
You can't keep track of everything when you're shooting. You're playing a part, and you're also producing. You cannot be like that, overseeing. It's smart to have.
And it's also, I'm really about giving back and supporting, as you guys know, and the idea that's why I came to both of your things. First, I wanted to learn more and know more, and secondly, you're both talented and interesting, and both of the shows are fun, different, shows that I've never seen anywhere. Like, I've never seen this show.
Yeah, somebody said, oh, they did a first, and I was like, great, knock yourself out. It's probably not an original idea that I came up with, but like no one's going to do it the way that
well, they sort of
did
stole your idea in the sense of the show Married. It seemed like a little bit of a steal, don't you think?
I'm not going to say.
Which is a compliment.
I mean,
a major
It's
compliment.
not an original.
But not as funny, I have to say.
It's. I just think like what makes the show so great is that each episode is like completely not what it seems. It's very quirky. It's these two characters are so like what, and I just think that's what makes it different. I think that's what the difficulty was, that it's different. Like it has a different feel each episode. Like I was saying, like this weekend we shot, and the director and the crew are all from Parks and Rec, and it'll have that feel, which none of the episodes have had.
Cool.
They're doing 2 episodes, so I'm thrilled.
So were you? Because I remember we spoke about one director, and you said that the episode was beautiful, but it was not at all in keeping with the other episodes. So you sort of changed the edit yourself, and said, well, this isn't really in keeping with. It didn't seem like the same show.
Yeah.
So what do you? Have you changed your mind now? Have you changed your mind now with that?
No, I wish I had been clear going in. I didn't realize I was making a web series. Like I really didn't know that this is what I was doing. And we shot season 1 and season 2. We shot like 24 episodes at once.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I just didn't know what I was doing. And so, like, I just sort of was learning as I went. And I think I sort of misled the directors because the show was finding its voice as we were going. Like, 4 episodes in, we got an editor attached. After that, we got a composer attached. And so it started to have a feel to it.
That's the thing, is the music thing. The music thing was the hardest thing for me. I understood what I wanted, but to get somebody to do it at a discount price was really hard, because I would say, I want a song that sounds like this, and I get a song, and I actually made them do sound-alikes, because that's what I wanted.
I did that a couple times.
Because I didn't know how else to do it. I'm not,
I have a fantastic composer, if you guys need some.
Oh, I've got one too. He's pretty cool.
So lucky, yeah.
Our guy, I saw a Macy's One Day commercial, and I called it. This was like before our pilot, and I'm like, I love that commercial. Is there some way you can make our theme sound like that?
Yeah.
And it did. And then for like a year, that commercial would come on. I'm like, but it's not our show. It's the Macy's commercial. But yeah, we did that a lot.
My DP found a song that I just loved that was by a Christian band. And I just loved this song so much. I said, could you make it sound like? I tried to actually buy the song, but I couldn't even find. The people wouldn't return my emails.
Well, it's
you tried.
You're a heathen.
So let's talk about money. So that's the thing. Let's talk about money. Now,
are we getting paid for the show? Is that?
Is someone going to pay us? Finally,
isn't that the thing? That's the thing, is that all of us want to make a living. I don't think any of us are dying to be. It's okay that you don't make $1 million an episode. Right. But on your show, 3 years, have you guys made any money yet?
We've made money, but we put it back into the show.
So then it has been profitable.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You've made money. That's profitable.
But do you break even now, or is it?
It's it would take so much.
I know.
What's the Reader's Digest version?
The Reader's Digest version is we've gotten a lot of money through crowdfunding.
Yeah.
When we did our deal with Wolf.
Wolf Releasing let me just tell you right now, is in a terrific company. These gals who run the company have done this for over 20 years. I met them at film festivals. I met them when I did when I did 10 Attitudes, the film that I produced 15 years ago. They were so terrific. They have integrity.
Yeah.
They do things weird like return calls and emails.
You know, when we first contacted them, when we were going into the second season, we were just trying to figure out.
Maria and Barbara.
Yeah, and Jenny and Betty.
So wait, are their production team or their?
No, they're a releasing company. They released home videos, and they would release everything from Brokeback Mountain to our stuff.
Yeah.
So all the big studio stuff, and they were sort of second place for.
God love you. But they
were
really,
second place. They released all the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender.
Yeah, and they're very
media.
out there. I mean, they're like at every festival. I started getting a lot of calls when we first did the deal from people saying, "Oh, how did you get it? Can you hook me up with them?" I didn't think they'd want me to hook them up,
but they do.
But she's like, "No, you give my email. You have them send me their stuff," and I think that's really cool because a lot of
they are actually always looking for good quality product.
Always on the hunt.
And is there like a umbrella that the product has to fall under?
Yeah, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. Yeah. There are companies that do what you do
First
too.
lesbian encounter,
No,
maybe.
the best friends are lesbians.
There you go.
It's very, very subtle.
Honey, you should have had me play your best friend. We could have got you on Gay Direct. I could have got you everywhere. You made a mistake with that girl.
I did.
Yes. We'll be back in just a second with my two friends here on Absolutely Jason Stewart.
But again, I will say, we did one episode and it just kept
Courtney, we're going to a commercial.
Don't talk. He won't let you.
Hey, hello, this is David Faustino, and you are watching T Radio V. Do you see what I'm saying? It's television crossed with radio. It's all together. It's weird. Radio's in the middle of it. It's amazing. You're watching it. Go.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
T Radio V.
What did you play opposite Andy, Eric? Do you remember?
Andy and I worked as two employees at a network.
Okay. Oh, you're forgetting the other thing.
I played a news anchor, and he played a reporter.
Okay, but the other thing you did, the thing you did on the Andy Dick show, who did you play to Andy?
Oh, is that in fact my sister?
You played his wife, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played his wife.
Yeah. So what's wrong with that, Elijah?
Nothing's wrong with it.
He's got a great range as an actor.
Yeah, it just was funny.
Encounters with Eric and Eliza Roberts, Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on T Radio V.
Hey, Cosmo here, inviting you to join me every Saturday, 11 a.m. PST, for another boozy rendition of Historic Holes. We uncover the history and the mystery, the dirt and details, and even some facts and figures behind your favorite drinking establishment. That could be a corner pub, a rickety saloon, an infamous bar or tavern. It's been around so long, it's bound to be a fire hazard. They are all historic holes. From coast to coast and beyond, I'll be joined by actors, comedians, musicians. I even had a plumber on once. That's Historic Holes. I'm your host, Johnny Cosmo, every Saturday at 11 a.m. PST, right here at the future of online broadcasting, T Radio V, and that's radio in TV.
I drive with both hands off the wheel.
Shaken, not stirred.
Bad, really bad.
Langdon Nation, saving the world one dirty joke at a time. Saturdays from 1 to 3, exclusively on T Radio V.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hey, we're back at Absolutely Jason Stewart with the stars of Firsts and the stars and creators of Old Dogs and New Tricks. So we were talking about money. So you have actually made money, and what you did with the money is you put it back in, and you've been able to continue to work.
Well, what happened was, we'd raised money for season 3, but then when we made the deal with Wolf, of course, we had to like get lawyers involved and copyright and all that. So we took the money out of our season 3 budget to pay for that, and then with the advance Wolf gave us, we reimbursed the season 3 budget. So we made money, but I wouldn't call it a profit.
So let me say this. This is sort of an edgy question to ask. So do you
good.
think that putting it, your show was initially on the net for free?
Right.
It was on you had a YouTube channel.
Correct.
And do you think that helped or hindered the
I think it
success
helped.
of the show?
Yeah, I mean,
because this is 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's very different now.
It is different. You know what really has hurt us, when we first came out the first year, Facebook, it was before Facebook started twiddling around and like only letting you get like 5%.
God, you
of
could
your
do
viewers.
everything on Facebook. It was great.
People would actually see your posts.
Yeah, exactly, and that's changed. So it's harder now.
Who do we call? I mean, who do we call to?
Zuckerberg, I guess, whatever his name is.
I actually know someone from Love is Strange. One of the associate producers is married to someone that works at Facebook, and I've had talks with him. He doesn't have a lot of control, so it's a big company. But the idea that we can't send something. What I did is I've sent individual. I go through and send each person an email in their box.
I've done that before. It's
or create an event.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the point. They're trying to make money, and they're trying to make people spend money to be seen. But it's I miss the
I'd rather
old
just
Facebook.
pay. I would rather pay $10, $15, $20 a month and just.
I would too. At least it's honest. I always feel like I get this icky feeling from Facebook that they're trying to extort you instead of just saying pay us a monthly fee and everyone can see your stuff. I'd be fine with that, like you said.
Yeah.
But
So tell us now. So you've made money on the show. You put it back in the show. Have you guys been approached by industry bigwigs? At all?
We had a couple, but nothing kind of. Can I drop names?
Yeah, please.
Imagine Entertainment during our first season called us up. It was really interesting too because it was the assistant to the guy with the hair, Brian.
Fraser.
Yeah. This black dude, straight. And was just like literally on the phone watching the show laughing. I'm like, but you're straight. What?
Well, I think minority people
understand.
Yeah, but I also think minority people understand minority projects.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good.
Because I've gotten cast much more by, I think, people than I have by white people, which is really weird. Yeah.
Maybe that's
or people under 35.
But yeah, there have been like little nibbles, but
so they expressed interest, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But that's sort of neat still.
Just the fact that my name was mentioned in the halls of Imagine Entertainment, that to me that was a victory. We didn't have to go any further than that. And that was like just after our first season. So I'm like, oh my God, someone's watching.
And Courtney, you have had bites from some really big companies.
This is so ironic.
But can we say
before we released the show? It got to ICM and they were like, we're going to sell this. We're going to make your money back because I basically funded everything myself. So, I'm not married. I have no kids. I have money from commercials. I was just like, what is the money for? I'm getting older. I don't know what to do.
Do you hear that, Zach Braff? That's what actors do. If they have money, they do it themselves.
I did it, although I was having a little meltdown this weekend. I was just like, from the outside of my life, like I'm shooting all the time and I'm at like this lot and that lot. Meanwhile, I'm like,
It is hard. Because your head is so full, and I think your working is terrific. It's the best thing I've ever seen you do. It really is.
I really love it. I can't wait to see the whole series.
Yeah.
Because it
It's
shows
really
the quirkiness of you, of who you, it's a heightened version of who you are.
I'm blushing.
Feel
my face getting hot.
The only thing I'm upset
about. I don't know. It's like she really is crazy.
No, you are a little crazy.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
But we're letting it show. Boy, when I did my show, that's the first comment that somebody said to me at the screening. They said, "Oh my God, you're really showing how you get depressed and how things don't work out." Because I play myself in the series like Louis C.K. does, but you also sort of play yourself.
Someone's like, "So tell me about the character Sally," and I'm like, "Uh-huh."
Well, we had the same talk, but maybe because I'm the next generation of this. Paul and I sat there. We thought, what are we going to do? Who are we going to play? What should our jobs be?
Right.
And I thought, oh God, well, let's just be ourselves. I love Louis C.K.'s show so much, and I love that he certainly was so successful and had this big management company. And said he got $200,000 and they said, here, make a show for FX before anybody cared.
I mean, I think acting is parts of yourself. I mean, it's just
but this is way past.
Well, it is. I think of acting as similar. What they say about writing, write what you know. And I do think, I'm not being cast as any nuclear physicists because, I'm not.
I could see you as a nuclear physicist.
Oh, well, God love it. Why aren't you casting?
I could. good. I could totally see just some little bifocals on you.
Chop the hair off.
No, they look like
really?
you.
Keep the
And you
hair.
also started something. When I saw your leading guy with the beard, I thought, what is this?
Yeah.
I can't. And now everybody has a beard.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Out to there.
I know.
Because that was a big.
I
Like,
like guys that look a little dirty, almost
Ooh.
homeless. They're clean, but they look a little homeless.
Oh no, he looks a little homeless.
I know,
I would
but clean.
And cute.
clean.
So what's
Super
happened?
cute.
So what's happened since you guys have shown, and where can we see your show?
So we are on Stream Now TV. We are on
What is Stream Now
Absurd
TV?
News. They linked from our YouTube site.
Okay.
So they're just other platforms.
So basically, people can go to
We're on
first
YouTube and we are on
What's the-
firsttheseries.com.
First the series.
And we are also on Funny or Die under First the
So let's.
Series.
I always like to send people to the source, which is first the
Please
series.
then go to the YouTube.
Yeah, go to firsttheseries.com.
Yeah.
Go to Old Dogs New Tricks, which is the initials.
ODNT.TV.
Yeah, Old Dogs New Tricks, and there's no and in it. And the other thing that I'm really that I've thought about so much is that has the casting world embraced these things? What do you think? The casting director world.
Well,
that's the
like I
next-
was saying at the break when I wasn't supposed to talk, I was saying
She can't stop. It's like it doesn't even matter. I'm talking and it doesn't even matter.
And Jason's sitting here, shut up.
And it's like I'm not even here. It is like I'm not. It's like when we do Pilates together, I will ask a question or make a joke, and she's just on her. She's driving. She's just
What
driving.
a talk show where there's no host. People just show up and just start talking.
Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to ask you, yeah.
She's a members only jacket. She's in charge of something, but we don't know what.
I can't remember what the question was now.
I don't either, because you've so confused
Funny
me.
or Die. We were talking about something.
Oh, casting, the casting director.
Oh, casting. Oh, so like I was saying.
Because you did a show recently. What was a real popular show?
I did the X's. I did.
Yeah, when we were up for the same episode by total coincidence.
Oh, that's right. That's
and
right.
you got it. Yeah, well, not
Yeah.
the same part.
Not the same part.
I did a pilot, but I don't think it's.
What pilot?
You know what? Something did come out of first. I did a. The taper was doing something, and somehow my agent sent them first, and they're like, "You have to cast this girl," and blah blah blah, and that was it. I got an offer, and I was like, "How did that happen?" It was like a workshop thing, but I was just like, "How did this happen?" And then when I was reading the script, and I was like, "Oh, that's how it happened."
Well, that's what but that's what I was saying though before is that
Jesus,
the difference about working as hard as you did, doing very successful Los Angeles theater. Your shows were always packed, but it's 50 or 60 people. Whereas seeing your web series, it's 50 or 60,000, and it's all over the world.
Yeah,
We
from
had
your mouth to YouTube.
Our
world.
first season, we had a review somewhere in, I can't even remember. It was the Philippines or something, not even in English. And that was kind of, it's like, we're not even subtitled. And they're like,
So crazy.
I was able to kind of figure out that they said something like, it's like Sex in the City, only they're not as well dressed. That was the only part I could kind of figure out. The rest I just kind of, but it was really trippy. It's like,
We got interviewed in some French magazine this week.
yeah.
And I was like, oui,
Oui,
c'est
oui.
bon. I comprends, whatever.
So the casting people, and how about for you guys on your show?
Well, I do the casting, so we don't usually.
No, I mean other casting directors casting the
Like, have you
actors
gotten
because
work
they've
out
seen
of
the work. on
You
it.
know, I think so. Our cast works all the time. I don't, because I'm so envious that you're acting and producing, because I find I don't have time beyond acting in the show and producing the show to really do too much. I've done a couple plays of all the shows, but that was only because they called and said, "Oh, do you want to play this part?" And I
Yeah.
went, "Sure."
Yeah.
I think it's, and then Bruce Hart, who plays Nelson Van Eddy, I know he's gotten some parts from the show. So I think so. I think it's just, it depends on the casting director and who sees it and what they're looking
So
for.
it is, but it is creating a wider net. How about
Oh,
other
yeah.
people asking you to write or produce stuff? I know the people are asking you to produce stuff.
And I'm happy to do it. I was an AD for one of my directors. I'm happy to show up, and he worked for me. I'm happy to I do have an idea for another show, and we've been working on that with another writer. So I'm not writing it. I'm co-producing it with somebody else who has a lot more movie producing experience than me.
Can you say who it is?
Yeah, it's Aaron Stamm.
Okay, and tell us who Aaron Stan is.
Aaron Stamm.
Stam, rather.
Was a movie producer. She's now sort of a consultant and more on her own. But I believe she was at New Media Participant and Propaganda. I hope I've probably totally just said 3 places that she didn't work, but somewhere with a P. You know, and she did, and so like it's been really interesting because I would take a script and be like, okay, here are the notes, and they would either make them or not, and then do a rewrite on it. She doesn't let me do that. She's like, we go back to the writer and back to the writer and back to the writer, and it's a process. And so,
what do you mean? So you would write? Someone would write a script with you. You write it together, and then you do what?
Like I would like there was a list of firsts, and then I was like, or you can come up with something better, and then people would turn it in, and then I would try to tweak it to make it fit for the show. And some people would get it right away, and some people it was like trying to find our way. And now that the show's out, I think people have a better idea.
So you're saying planning is what?
Yeah, we didn't really do a lot of planning on first. I mean, the scripts would come in, I would shoot them. It was all very fast. There was not, and now that I have time, and it's funny because some of the writers are not so interested in the process of writing. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of fascinating. Like, they're not so interested in taking my notes. You know? I don't want to work. It's like I'm spending all this time and money to produce their stuff, but they don't want to make it as good as it can possibly be.
I think
it's an interesting.
Do you write all yours with your husband? Tell us who your husband is.
My husband's Lawrence Whiting. He's our executive producer, but I do the writing.
You do all the writing? Oh, I thought you guys wrote it together. He directs?
No, he just executive
producer. Oh, he just produces the whole thing. Okay. And you have you have different directors also.
Yeah, we have a stable of about 4. And then I directed one this season, which was...
How was that?
It was, it was funny. Before then, at one point or another, all of our directors have come up to me at one point and said, you guys really kind of direct yourselves.
Yeah.
And I found that to be the case. And our crew's so good, and I trust them so much. There were some scenes I didn't even look through the viewfinder. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, it's because also you start to work together. I actually I directed the whole thing.
Wow.
And I would have done what you did, is had other directors, but because of shooting it like a movie, for location. I'll tell you about my experience about directing, because we'll be back in just a second. I hear the music.
And we won't say a word during the break.
It's okay.
Lie.
We'll be back in just a moment. Please stay tuned. Don't turn that channel.
Hi, I'm Moby, and you're watching T Radio V.
Hey, my fellow thoughters out there. I'm Charles Shaughnessy. Check out my new show, Here's a Thought, with Charles Shaughnessy, August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. Now, you know I have a lot to say, but I want to hear what you have to say. So tune in, grab your phones, call me, tweet me, email me in the studio, and let's get this conversation going. Here's a Thought, starting August the 7th, 3 p.m. PST, right here on T Radio V. That's radio in TV.
Hi, I'm Bob Nalbandian, and be sure to watch my show Inside Metal, which airs live every Tuesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on T Radio V. I'm going to be bringing in the greatest heavy metal artists live right here in the studio. Once again, every week at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Tuesday, right here at tradiov.com, radio in TV.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Let me start again. Welcome to T Radio V. That's TV and radio, radio and TV. I can't remember. It's just too much for me.
No, you're doing it wrong. I need you to emote more. It's not enough. You need to push it.
Absolutely,
Jason
Stuart.
And I was on his show. I'm Shang, but he's fantastic.
But the thing is, he's so cute. It just upsets me that he's straight.
I still got a lot of urban in me.
And I'm a little Jewish, so I sounded like, oh yeah.
You didn't say, hey, he has a nice Shayna Putum.
Yeah.
Don't be a schmeckle.
It upsets you that you're straight?
No, it doesn't upset me. I'm straight. Don't make me laugh, man.
No, don't touch me inappropriately.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did I touch you inappropriately? There's gonna be definitely lawsuits. You are watching Jason. Me. Well, not today. Shut up over there laughing with the laughter. Watch Absolutely Jason Stuart every Tuesday on TV. The V with the TV.
They're gonna.
You better edit the out of this. All right, we got it.
Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hey everybody, we're back at Absolutely Jason Stuart with Courtney Rachley, who has no idea where she is or who's talking or whether I'm even hosting the show.
Look, you're on TV,
Courtney. And Leon Acord, who's a little more polite.
Well, only just.
But he smokes.
Well.
Anyway.
Really? Oh, we got to talk about that.
Oh, Lord.
That's not good.
You guys are so much alike, but so much different. So let's talk about social media for the show.
Yeah.
We were talking in the break. To me, it's become such a part of my job. And I say this from my heart, honestly. I love supporting other people. I think it's cool that we can do this for each other, and I think it's important. It's about it's our lives. It's about the other things.
I like supporting other people if it's
good.
If it's good and if they're not assholes. Can I say assholes here?
Yeah, you can say
this
you can
morning.
fucking say anything you want to fucking say.
Just this morning, I got a friend request from someone I've never heard from, but I saw we had 22 mutual friends, so I thought, okay, accept. Yeah. A split second later, I get an email from him asking me to contribute to a charity, which,
whatever.
Granted, it's a great charity, but it's like, that's a little finesse. Maybe say hello, how are you, before you hit me up.
Leon.
I'm from the Midwest.
I know,
sorry.
honey. I'm a pushy Jew from New York. You know what I do?
When worlds
You know what I do? Delete.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it. Because you don't know where someone's coming from. You don't know how hard they've worked, and maybe they're just having one of those days. Oh God, maybe this guy will help me.
No, you know what
that's
it is.
What I always think.
I made a lot of mistakes our first season, similar to that, and I just think.
Oh,
if
I
someone
must be
else
making
makes that
bad.
mistake, I want to point out,
But don't you think that sometimes, like if you said that to me, I would go, "Oh, I'd love to help Leon." If we just became friends.
but
like I wasn't friends with your husband, and I said, "Oh, I'm not friends with him." When you have thousands of people, you don't even know who you have.
Well, let me ask you this: what is the difference between being aggressive and like pushing for your show or your cause or whatever it is, and being like needy, like come
There
to
is no
me?
difference
It's
because
really
you know what
a fine line.
No, there is no difference because what's too much for him may not be too much for me. And how do we figure that out? How do we figure out what's too much? Like some people, like PR people, love to be chased. Casting directors don't.
Right.
But producers, writers, directors are much easier to deal with. I called a friend the other day for a show. I said, "Hey, I think I'm right for this part. If you think so, oh yeah, I'll try. I don't know." And that was it. It was a simple professional conversation. But a casting director would have a coronary if you called them and said that to them. Yeah. Because it's way too much power for one person.
My thing is, I don't think behavior on Facebook should not be that different from behavior on real life. And if you just met someone at a party, before you said, "Hello, I like your work," or had any sort of pleasantries, if the first thing you said is, "I'm working for this charity and can we count on your support?" I find that bad form. And I know I'm old school and like...
No, I understand, but I think it's hard to...
How about I produced this show, please watch. You'll really like it. It's really funny. Like, is that any different?
That is different.
I'm not asking for anything, and yet I'm asking for your time. And you know what I mean? It's like that's
a good question. I mean, it is different, but I don't.
I think
know
it is
exactly
a Midwestern
why.
thing.
It is a Midwestern thing.
Because I'm a Jew from New York, and
my husband's a Jew.
Yeah, so you
from
understand
LA,
that kind of thing. That kind of thing of.
I'm not a Jew, but I'm from here.
Yeah, and you're like.
I'm just Jewish by osmosis.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's
by injection.
I was going to say Jewish by injection,
but it's an ethnic thing, don't you think?
Inappropriate.
It is. But I also think to take everything.
I think it's a generational thing too, though, don't you?
Oh God, I used to. Because my partner in this, Paul Laya, 26 years old, is calling me during my fucking show, and I've had this show for.
Yeah, but you picked up the phone.
I know. So a year. So she's telling.
I'd call you during the show too.
A year and a half.
Let's call him
I've
right
had
now.
this show. He knows I'm doing the show.
Don't call me during the show.
Yeah, he knows I'm doing the show, and he doesn't pick up the phone when and you're saying that I pick up the phone too easy. So it's this. Like when is wait. When does texting end? When does it end?
It doesn't, like 20
You say goodbye.
You have to teach people when it's appropriate, not appropriate. So if he calls you during the thing, the phone's off so you don't see it, and then when you get a chance, you call him back. You don't even have to mention it.
He never answers his goddamn phone, so I have to keep calling until he answers.
Why do you answer yours?
Because I'm sad, I'm desperate, and I'm old. And I want someone to love me.
If you have a 26-year-old boyfriend, you're not that desperate.
He's not my boyfriend. He's straight. He's my partner.
You've got way too many.
Business partner. Okay.
Business partner on the show.
I was gonna say, there's
and he's
a
also a
lot of
kid that
stuff
I
there.
mentor. And he's also the star of Mentor, and we wrote it together.
And he also wants to be sleeping with him.
No. Honey, I know him way too well to want to sleep with him. And I don't,
you know him done too well.
I don't want to sleep with straight guys. I'm not interested.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so
See, they all
tired of
think that.
I
Yeah.
would not be the least bit interested in a straight
straight
guy.
people always think that we are.
Hygiene, first of all,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just
And
don't
he
get
cannot
that.
make my fucking bed in my guest room.
Yeah.
He can't make the bed in the dress. He's staying at my house part-time because he lives in Cucamonga with his brother. So he'll come and stay in my guest room. He cannot make the bed the way I arrange the pillows.
Well, he's a straight man. I mean, I'm gay and I can't make a bed, so.
Well, there's got to be a class. Because he can't make it.
Wow, I would fail tremendously.
I would too.
I mean, my house is messy.
Mine is.
You're like a straight guy. You really are.
I'm lucky.
In so many
My
ways.
husband's very neat and clean, so he,
And you're
I
not?
drop it and mess it up, and he picks it up.
He
and
puts the
cleans it up.
socks. He drops. Wash a fucking dish. Rinse it out. Put some suds in it. I hear my mother's voice. Hang up your pants. You don't want to have to iron it later. That's the way I was brought up.
You need to come live with me. You'd keep me in line.
Oh,
'cause I'm horrible.
I don't mind doing it.
How
but
about if I just get your housekeepers?
There you go.
I just,
I was
my
like,
housekeeper
this will
just
solve.
texted me. I just said, yes, you can park in my spot.
How nice.
Sonia's great. If anybody needs somebody, she's terrific.
Sonia is overbooked. Sonia
Was she-
is great. Yeah, she was fantastic. And so then she came to my house, and then she's like overbooked.
She can't do you?
This has got to be so boring to people listening.
Maybe
right
that's
now.
her polite way of saying her house is so
boring.
messy, I ain't going to even try. to
I
go
am,
there.
yeah. That
I'm
might
sorry,
be
I
it.
have
She's got
Back to the
dogs,
show. Back to the
forget
show
it.
and
show
social
business.
media. How much time do you guys spend a day on social media on your show?
All day.
All day.
All day.
I mean, it's not like I'm doing this all day, but it's on all day.
Do you ever
can't
say
make
today
a
I'm not
show,
doing it?
An online show, and this is my problem with the writers, the actors, anybody. You don't work on an online show and not expect to do online pushes for
Yeah.
it. Like, that's your audience. Your audience is online. Your
Mm-hmm.
audience is tweeting. Your audience, and that's what's been so challenging is that like
Getting the other people to do it.
finding that
Yeah.
audience that's already sitting there watching YouTube.
Well, you
channels.
both made a mistake because I'm a very big guy. I want to work with you
We're
guys. so
actually
much.
lucky. About
I think you're both great.
About 3 out of 4 of our actors are really into social media.
Awesome.
I think if I had to do it over again, though, during auditions, I would have put something on the sheet about.
I would, absolutely.
How many followers do you have? How active are
That's
you?
how I've gotten. That's how I've gotten a lot of jobs because
Yeah.
people they go first. You're a good actor. Second, do you have some credits?
Even
second, third, are you?
big CDs and studios are looking at that
Oh
now.
yeah.
Do they have a
And,
following?
and it's not even following, but you have to actually do it.
You have to
I find that some
engage.
people just won't do it.
It's a lot of work.
It is
Although
a lot
there
of work.
is like some, I'm having like some fun tweeting. Like I have the show's Twitter account where I tweet the episodes, and I tweet any press, and I tweet like.
So then
funny
that's my big
lines
question:
from
is
the
it better to
shows.
do it? Is the show associated with you, or is it better to get
It's
it?
both. I do both.
Yeah.
And then I retweet the stuff
Same
from
here.
the show. And
See,
I
I
can't
find
get
that
back to the
dissipates it.
show.
I think it
I mean, I'm
dissipates it.
exhausted, but
I mean,
like,
I'll get
it
messages
just-
on one of the show Facebook or Twitter saying Leon. It's like
Yeah. It's
for about the
easier
first year,
to
I'm like, this isn't Leon. This is the show.
Yeah.
But I think it dissipates it. I have to say that I
I'm
think
going to
that
disagree because when you're following people and trying to get a following, it's a lot easier to do it as a show than it is to do it as a person.
not if you already come in being a person. Do you know what I mean? If you already have a big online presence.
Yeah, but
for
with
me,
the-
I
in the
think I did
online
it. I think I did
world-
it the opposite of you guys do it because I'd already had an online presence. And if I go the other way, no one hardly ever goes to the mentor page, but they constantly go to
Yeah.
my page.
Oh, But the yeah. web
And
But it's
they
also-
hate
This is
the
the
fan
websters.
pages.
Well, it's also
Do you
with
hear
Facebook,
this, Facebook?
You don't. Most of your fans aren't seeing what you're posting on your fan page because Facebook won't let them.
They
So-
hate the fan pages.
What we did with our show, we created a hardcore viewers group on Facebook, so they would get the messages right away. We've got about 200.
What's a hardcore?
You know, Facebook has groups. You know, where
Mhm.
it's just people are members, and when somebody in the group posts something on the group page, everyone in the group gets a notice.
Oh, that's
So it's a way of
Oh,
like
that's a
for
good
the people
idea.
who want that, they can join the group and.
Let me
never
repeat
miss-
it again. Okay, so your show is ODNT, which is the initials Old Dogs, New Tricks, .tv. Correct. That's how you can get the new season. If you want to get the first 2 seasons, go to Gay
You can
Direct.
still go there.
Or you
we
can go
have,
there.
We have Luke's to Hulu and
Or
Luke's
you can go to
links
Gay
Hulu.
Dir- yeah.
or Gay
Look,
Direct
see, you need a picture like that.
or Wolf on Demand.
I love the idea of going to Gay Direct because I think they're so supportive and I really want to support them.
great.
Courtney, you can see her show on Funny or Die if you love that, or you can go to her website, firsts.com. It's a totally hysterically funny series. Thank you so much
Oh,
both
look
for being
at
on the
that.
show. If you forget either one of them, if you totally forget them, just go to jasonstewart.com, STUART, and I will send you to both of their pages and their emails and so forth so you can contact them of how to watch the show. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you,
on
Jason.
the show.
This is fun.
Oh, thank you.
Take care.
That's
everybody.
it?
Talk to you next week.
Wow.
Okay, now we can talk.
Okay, yeah.
You are watching T Radio V. Radio and TV.